Preparing for a good night's sleep is only half the battle in the war against the mattress. A few weeks ago, I talked about sleep, the benefits of getting enough sleep, the disadvantages of sleep deprivation, how to prepare yourself for a better night's sleep, and I set my goal to get to sleep by 10:30. But as I said, preparing for and going to bed is only half of the battle. Once your pretty little head hits that pillow and drifts off to dreamland, your next real-world encounter is going to be with the dreaded alarm clock. Waking up has always been a bit of a struggle for me, but that struggle has boosted into overdrive over the last few years. Most likely aggravated by my overall lack of sleep. See, going to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning and trying to wake up at 8 or 9, the key word there is trying. It's hard on the body. Simple math shows that that's a one-way ticket to loss of judgment junction aboard the sleep deprivation train. And when you aren't getting enough sleep, it becomes extremely tempting to hit that snooze button one more time, even when you know you shouldn't. I am a chronic snooze button user. Nay, not just a user, but a snoozer abuser, if you will. In fact, my body has learned to turn off my alarm when I'm in that less than conscious state of mind. Sabotage! To put this struggle into perspective, at one point I was setting at least 10 alarms, so that eventually I would just have to wake up. Even then, I was waking up way past the time I should. Pathetic. But what's the big deal? Why even try to become a morning person? Research suggests that there are a lot of benefits to waking up early. Increased productivity, more creativity, less stress, and perhaps most important, increased discipline. It's hard to ignore that urge to sleep in to the very last second. But if you can win that first battle, it sets a good tone for the rest of the day. You give yourself a boost of self-discipline, which can go a long way toward accomplishing bigger goals. Every small victory over that natural lean towards laziness gives you more power and control over your life. And case study after case study of some of the most successful people in the world have shown that they are early risers. Benjamin Franklin, Ernest Hemingway, Theodore Roosevelt, and Thomas Jefferson once said, "The sun has not caught me in bed in 50 years." So here's the goal. I'm going to wake up by 6:30 every morning. Here is the plan. There are a few things that will make waking up earlier a lot easier. First, get to bed on time. If you simply get the sleep you need, waking up early won't be a huge struggle. Second, avoid sleep inertia. What is that? When we sleep, we go through various stages of sleep. This includes light sleep, deep restorative sleep, and REM sleep, a period of sleep that's characterized by strong brain activity and rapid eye movement. This is when we dream. Together, the non-REM and REM sleep patterns form a sleep cycle, which typically lasts about 90 minutes. Naturally, your body will want to wake up during a period of light sleep. When this happens, you wake up feeling refreshed, ready to take on the world, after an appropriate amount of sleep, of course. However, if you're awakened during deeper stages of sleep, say by an annoying alarm clock, you'll wake up feeling tired, groggy, and experiencing that irksome mental fog, even after a solid 8 hours of sleep. That is sleep inertia, or as the first researchers who studied this phenomenon called it, sleep drunkenness. To avoid this, it's important to wake up during that light stage of sleep, which is easier said than done. There are ways to experiment and find the best time to set your alarm. There are fancy gadgets and expensive doohickeys which monitor your brainwave activity as you sleep. Or you can go with a cheap app that I downloaded recently called Sleep Cycle. It's an alarm clock that monitors your movement behaviors throughout the night. You set up a window of time, usually 30 minutes, and it wakes you up during the lightest sleep possible in that window of time. It's not perfect by any means, but I've tried it a few times now, and I can certainly tell a difference. So it's definitely worth trying. On a similar note to this sleep inertia problem, avoid the urge to use the snooze button. That dance between consciousness and unconsciousness that happens when you hit the snooze button has the tendency to allow your body to go into deeper stages of sleep than you would have been in had you just gotten up when the alarm first went off. So even though it may not seem like it, you'll actually feel less groggy if you just get up. Next, expose yourself to bright light, especially blue light if possible. Strong light sends a signal to the brain to stop releasing that sleepy melatonin and start raising cortisol levels, which helps you wake up. This is a big one for me. Light has always helped me wake up. That's one reason it was easier for me to wake up as a kid. My mom would always turn on the light when she woke us up. The problem is, as an adult, it's now my responsibility to turn on the light, which is not a priority for sleepy Brent. Thankfully, there's a solution. I bought some Philips Hue smart light bulbs. There's gotta be a joke here somewhere. I can set these to gradually turn on with my alarm. This has helped tremendously. I highly recommend getting some. Next, get out of bed as soon as possible. Laying in that warm and comfy bed will just tempt and coax you to fall back to sleep. Avoid that temptation by just leaping out of bed. I set a second alarm across the room, which forces me to get out of bed. Finally, establish a good morning routine. If you don't have anything to do in the morning, you'll get bored and find yourself back in bed without realizing how you got there.
How did that happen?
Exercising, eating breakfast, and planning your day are great items to add to an invigorating morning routine. I'll discuss the importance of evening and morning routines in greater detail in coming weeks. Until then, this has been Brent's 2 cents. Here's to a good and early morning.